Greetings and welcome to Stunthangar Video Hangouts. My name is Charles Carter, and I'll be your host this evening. I want to extend to you my gratitude for you watching Stunthangar Video Hangouts. If you are watching this as a replay, I want you to know that I host these YouTube live streams every Monday and Friday evening starting at 6:45 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So please make a note of this so you can watch or be part of the live stream. Plus, we have an after party following the live stream, which is sometimes better than the live stream portion. You must be a registered Stunthangar Forum member to find the link to be part of the live stream and the following after party. Here at Stunthangar Video Hangouts, we talk about building and flying model airplanes, sport flying, competition flying, and what you've been doing lately. To join our conversation, if you are already a member of Stunthangar Forum, you can find the link if you scroll down to the section called At the Bench. If you're not a member or not logged into Stunthangar Forum, the At the Bench link will not appear. If you are not a member, please register at stunthangar.com/SMF. That's stunthangar.com/SMF. That's Smart Men Flying, courtesy of Jeff Riley. You must place a space between your real first and last name when you register. You must also use a valid email address or Sparky. The proprietor of Stunthangar will not approve you. If you're inclined to not come in, just enjoy watching us on YouTube. Wonderful, fantastic. Please enter your questions or comments in the chat box, and I'll do my best to make your comments or questions a part of the show. Understand, sometimes I can't get a word in myself, so be patient. I will ask our illustrious panel your question or state your comments. And by the way, you only can do that during a live show. So like I said earlier, I host these YouTube live streams every Monday and Friday evening starting at 6:45 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you find the Stunthangar Video Hangouts that I host or the many building and flying and contest coverage that Sparky does on this platform informative and enjoyable, please give us a thumbs up. Subscribe, and when you subscribe, hit the notification bell so that whenever myself or Sparky comes on, you'll be notified. Share the videos. Comments also help the Stunthangar YouTube channel grow. Please consider joining Stunthangar's YouTube channel memberships, which start at just $4.99 a month. You can subscribe by just simply hitting that button below the screen, that blue button, that join button. And when you do that, you'll get unlimited replay of member-only videos. And once a month, Sparky has a question and answer show for members only. Now, mind you, $4.99 a month is less than 17 cents a day. I mean, I'm not asking you to do something that I don't do myself. I'm a member. I have the $4.99 come out of my checking account every month. I don't miss it, and you won't miss it either. Please support this hobby. Now, your support helps offset some of the expenses of running the Stunthangar. And with your memberships, like I said, you'll get special badges that Sparky and I can see in the YouTube chat box, and then the unlimited replay of videos. Okay, now this is Sparky's YouTube channel, and I'm in here only twice a week. So if you want to get in touch with me, please go to my YouTube channel, which is called Flying Control Line Stunt. That's Flying Control Line Stunt. All the letters are there. And place your comment or question on the 2019 AMA National Championship video, which Sparky shot with his camera of me flying his beautiful Junar XL model airplane. And I actually missed flying that model airplane. It was a great day, great, what do you call it? A bucket list item to fly at the Nationals. And I just can't thank Sparky enough for giving me the opportunity to fly a beautiful plane at the Nationals. Now, if you go to that video and you comment or ask a question, I'll be notified quickly. And so I will be able to respond to you quickly as well. So I want to thank you for your past, your present, and future support. You are making it happen. Please keep the conversations family room friendly. In other words, please don't do things or say things you wouldn't do around your own children or grandchildren. Without any further ado, I'm going to post a link at Stunthangar Forum. And let's see here. Let me get that going here. The YouTube. I have 3 monitors, and let me see here. I think I have it right here. Great. All right. So hopefully we have some new guests come in, and the usual gang, the usual suspects too. I need them for the show. So please come in. And there's some people don't come in because they think they don't have anything to share, or maybe they think they're not knowledgeable enough or something like that. And, you know, just come on in, and believe me, especially if you're a new person, you'll bring a lift to the show, because you'll have questions that are maybe unique to you, and we'd love to have a dialogue about that. Let me see. I'm going to go to what I call the control panel and see what's going on. Just bear with me for a second. And my YouTube connection is creeping along today. Must be because of my teenagers. Let's see here. Okay, so I'm entering the what I call the control panel. And it looks like we have 4 concurrent viewers, 3 likes. So if you haven't hit the like button, please do that. That helps the analytics of the program. And I see that Alex Third, he says, hello, Charles. Well, hello, Alex. Thank you for coming in. I appreciate it. And Mark Lumen, he says, liked. Now, these 2 guys are both members. I can tell because of the way their handles look. They have the emoji of a member. So please, I really do know who's a supporting patron and who's not. And please support this. So let's see what's going on here. The link is posted in stunthangar.com, stunthangar.com/SMF. So if you can, go there and go to the at the bench, and then you'll see a link with today's date, and click on that, and that'll bring you right in here. The first time coming in, you might need to okay or allow for your camera and your microphone. But once you do that, then you should be coming here, and you should not have any issue. And if you ever have a problem getting into this program, please, if you are a Stunthangar Forum member, you can PM me, and which I've done with other people. We've actually communicated through the forum, and I've even had a private time with them, helping them get into here, overcoming the simple challenge. Of course, it's simple to me, but it was a roadblock for them, and I've helped them clear those roadblocks and get in here. And now you can't distinguish them from the ones that get in all the time. So if you need help, reach out to me through the forum. And then if you're not a member, reach out to me at my YouTube channel, Flying Control Line Stunt. That's Flying Control Line Stunt. And in the 2019 AMA National Championship video, go ahead and put a comment there, and we can maybe start some dialogue exchange, and I will help you get in here. It's not that difficult. Now, Jack Snavely, he says, hello again. And I never get tired of you coming in, Jack. And he also is our one of our members of our channel. So all the guys that are in the chat, those are all people who support us. So there's, I don't know, at least 30 people, I think, that are regular contributors from different ranges. Some are the entry level at $4.99 a month, and then we have some that are what's called the big tipper, and I think it's $15 a month. So it is worth supporting. And then with Jack Snapper, he always has his emojis and the smiling face, and I'm not sure what the one is after the word again, but then the other ones are airplanes in different modes taking off and this and that. So it's that's pretty cool. So right now we have 10 concurrent viewers. We have 7 likes. So if you haven't hit the like button, please do that. We have 0 chat revenue. Now that's another way to support us. is if you don't want a monthly subscription coming out of your checking account or credit card, however you want to do it, you can just support the channel, just make a donation, and you just go into the, now you have to be logged into YouTube, and then go into the chat box, and down below at the bottom, there is a big $sign right sandwiched between the smiley face and these bars. Click on that, and you can donate whatever is in your heart. Hopefully you're inclined to support us. And then Stunthangar, I guess he has what do? You put in $24.95. Oh, thank you, Sparky. Man, Sparky's got my back. Appreciate it. So the big tipper is $24.95 a month. I misspoke earlier. I thought it was 15. So I must be the tier below that. But you know what? If everybody does a little bit, that would really could be something that could be substantial. So just everybody get in and support the channel. I just think that 17 cents a day is very little. I mean, I don't understand why we don't have hundreds of people supporting it. We get, I know this show a week out is over 250 views usually, and so people do click on it, and I don't know when or what's going on, but you know, you need to support this. You know. Anyways, I'm waiting for someone to come in. I don't know what happened. I believe the let me see here. Thank you, Gary. Here comes Gary. I was getting ready to check to see if the if for some reason the link wasn't posted. So this is encouraging. So we're waiting for Gary to come in. Hey, Gary, thank you for coming in.
Yeah. Did you get anything in the mail?
I'm sorry, say it again.
Get anything in the emails?
Yeah, I responded to them. Did you see my response?
Oh, I didn't probably.
Yeah, I know. I was in the garage not all weekend. I went flying Saturday, so that kind of took me out of the loop. And then Sunday's like my family day with my family. And so it's just crazy. I just did not have much time. And then when I was in the garage working on something, I'm actually making these, got this idea from Dan Winship. And when I finish them, I will show them. But it's, I'm basically borrowing or copying his idea of these hype. Not all weekend. I went flying Saturday. So that kind of took me out of the loop. And then Sunday's like my family day. You got a loop going, Sparky. You got to close the other tab. All right. So anyways, so it can happen to anybody, even Sparky. Anyways, so I'm sorry I didn't get back to you sooner, Gary. That's but okay. I actually fired off about 5 of them. 5 of them. So, but so far, you know what? I really like the very first one.
Yeah, I know.
The very first one. I mean, the other ones are all very, very nice, but the very first one is but you know what? I know you can do better than that, though.
More practice. Right. More practice.
Yeah, it's just, you know, whatever.
Yeah,
comes it's digital. It's not like a waste of paper or a waste of ink or anything, right? It's all digital, so that's cool. Hey, Sparky, how are you doing today?
All right.
What you got going there? He's painting a skull, looks like.
Yeah.
Very, very cool. Very cool.
Yeah, that's another one.
Hey, Sparky, I have a question you might be able to answer.
Okay.
So my when I'm flying my plane, I have the Stalker 81, and when I'm doing the horizontal figure 8, I do the first inside loop, then I go transition to the outside loop, and then when I go back to the inside loop at about 3 o'clock, my motor stumbles. It comes back on at 4 o'clock, and then at 6 o'clock, I'm at full power. I go back up and finish maneuver on the outside, no stumble, and then I go fly level. So I'm trying to figure out what might remedy that stumble at 3 o'clock. and doesn't do it on, regular rounds, just after the exchange of going inside and outside of the horizontal 8.
That sounds like it's a venting problem, a plumbing problem inside the tank.
All right, I'll try a different tank. I was talking to Steve Hines, and he had a suspicion that maybe if I pull back the uniflow pipe just a little bit further back, it might be a bubble that's getting in the way or causing it to stumble. I was going to try that, and I was also thinking about an idle bar on a glow plug. But
I doubt it's the plug, but you could try it. I mean, do the easy stuff first.
yeah. But if you come up with any other ideas or have an aha moment, let me know. Hey, Brendan, how you doing?
I'm doing all right. How about yourself?
Doing well. Doing very well. And Eddie, thanks for coming in. Eddie, how you doing? Awesome. Very, very cool. So I went flying, you guys, Saturday, and I wish you would have talked to me Saturday. You would have seen me on a high. I was just so elated because I have two this is my old plane, my Strega. I'm down to my Strega because I had an accident with my impact. But anyway, so my Strega, I have a new Stalker 81 in it, and I have an old Stalker 81 that's in my shop. Now the old Stalker 81 was flying the plane on like 65-foot lines, and it just had all kinds of power. And this new motor, it was just kind of wimpish compared to, I had to go down to embarrassing. I was down to 60-foot flying line. So in preparation of going flying Saturday, I put the largest Venturi I had, which was a 366 thousandths of an inch. And the one that was in there was 322. So having that larger Venturi on there, it just came on. The plane got its man card back. I was excited. I lengthened the lines back up to 63, but I could easily go to 65 because my first flight, my lap times were like, I know if Joe was here, he'll tell me, I think it was like 4.6, 4.7. I richened the needle valve, got down to 4.9, maybe 5 once in a while. And so I had to have plenty of power now. So it's just, it's a joy to fly, and I was just elated.
It's 1/10 for every foot of line.
Right. Yeah.
So they say you want to fly on the longest lines possible, and 66 foot would be the maximum because you're allowed 70 from the center of the handle to the center of the fuselage. So 66, 67, 68. That would be 67 foot would be maximum that you could run up to 70 foot. But I don't like those long lines because they flop. That's all I run 64 foot.
So when I was flying your Junar, you think that was what, 64 or so?
I know it was 64.
Okay. Yeah, it felt nice. It was even in the wind. That year wasn't as windy as last year, but there was some wind, and it had no problem going through the wind, and the lines weren't a problem.
That airplane will do maneuvers upwind.
Yeah, I remember I wasn't there, but I remember hearing you doing that at Brodax the year I didn't go. You did all the maneuvers upwind.
Yeah, because the judges are too lazy to move around the other side of the circle.
Yeah. Well, we're all getting to be pretty elderly, so probably when they were spring chickens, they didn't think anything of it, moving out of the circle, but now they get comfortable. They don't want to move.
Yeah. You gonna try to go to Brodax?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I would love to. It's not that I don't want to go to. I have teenagers and not quite a fixed income, but I really, that was on my bucket list to go to Brodax. When you and I met, matter of fact, for everybody to know that Sparky and I actually met in 2016 at the Brodax, and that's how we became acquainted with each other. And then we just grew from there. But that was supposed to be the last one. So I went there, and it's a lot of money to go there from California. So anyways, I don't think I can do it again. You never know. I mean, sometimes things open up and the doors open up to you and you have an opportunity to do something you didn't think will happen, but I'm not planning on going. I would love to go. I think it's going to be a spectacular closing event, and who knows, they might even have great sales and stuff to get rid of some inventory. I mean, I think there'd be a lot to take advantage of. So I would love to go. So I'd love to go to the Nats too.
Have they officially identified it as the last Brodax?
No.
Yeah, because I mean the last one that they had when John was still around and stuff, they had talked about having 2 more, and so just thinking out loud here, my thought had been that kind of in honoring that or thinking about that Buzz and planners would probably have 2 more would be my guess. But again, I have no internal thoughts or connections with that, but I would think just out of respect to his kind of what he said there at that event, they may have it for 2 more would be my guess. But again, that's going on nothing direct.
What Dennis Adamison said, that the community actually asked Buzz to do this because it does give the community an economic lift. You figure we go out and eat, we stay in hotels. I mean, we take over that little town. So it's that's what I heard from Dennis.
Yeah, the thing that surprised me though is I didn't grow up in the area. I grew up in Kentucky, but when we moved to the area and then moved to Carmichael's, where it's held, we bumped into it just because of the signs that were around. There was a sign for the event that kind of drew us in. But outside of that, after we got into it and got really excitable about it, it really surprised me as we ran around the town talking to people and kind of letting people know what was going on, how many people were just clueless that it existed. And I'm sitting here trying to tell them like, hey, Carmichael's is at the kind of the center of the map for the control lighting world, and especially this hobby shop we got here. And yet, most of the people in the community were really kind of clueless about it. So I don't know, I don't know what that was all about, but it kind of surprised me that the community wasn't as knowledgeable about it or aware. And I'm glad they came out in the end, and we're trying to, get it to come back and talk about it as a money draw. But, the day-to-day folks of the community, it just surprised me that they weren't as involved or aware of it. We were going to get the scouts involved with it kind of right there before COVID hit. But our plan had been to get the scouts out there and do some stuff with Angstrom Flying, trying to get them involved doing a show and tell type of thing. But that all fell COVID.
Have you ever been to the Nats, Brandon?
Yeah, we've been twice. We went this past year, and then we went not the year of COVID, but the year before that. The 1 year with COVID, or when it was really strong, there was a whole lot of back and forth whether Nats would happen or not. And we missed out on that one, but we've gone 2 of the last 3 years.
Well, I want you to go out in town, not to the 12th Street Cafe, but go out into town and ask them if they know about the AMA site. Nobody knows about it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they don't. That's just sad for me to know how, Big John was in the community.
That's poor planning, poor advertising, poor marketing.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I agree. I think that was just the sad thing for me to sit there and go, wow, this is a big deal, at least in the control line world. Everybody knows, of Brodak and the meaning of Brodak to the sport. The town has no clue. No clue.
If it was me, I'd be going to the media and saying, hey, are you familiar with the AMA museum? No. I know they're going to say no. But we're having a big, national meet out here. Why don't you send a reporter out, or, the newspaper, somebody? Nobody ever shows up.
Yeah, I think even when they had the World Championships there in Muncie a few years back, it was, here is the World Championships, and
I agree.
Muncie didn't even know about it.
I was there, and I didn't see any media.
World, everybody.
That was the World Championship. It's crazy.
of Brodeck to the sport, the town has no clue. No clue.
With me, I'd be going to the meeting and saying, hey, are you familiar with the AMA museum? No. I know they're going to say no.
You're
We
causing a
got a little
leak now.
national meet out here. Why don't you send a reporter out or, the newspaper, some.
All right, I got you muted, Mark, until you fix that.
There we go.
Anyways, yeah, I guess someone needs to pick up the ball and run with it and promote it. But obviously the AMA is not doing a good job of that. And maybe we're not doing a good job of promoting our hobby ourselves,
I've done all I can do.
Oh, Sparky, you are.
Yeah, I guess
Man,
Sparky's done a few things.
You've done over and above. I mean, God, I hope you're being submitted for the Hall of Fame just for what you've done for the hobby.
Well, go ahead and do it.
All right, I'll do it because I mean, I know other people who are helping too. I mean, there are some people that have done a lot for the hobby, but you're definitely one of those two that contribute immensely. Anyways, anybody else done any flying besides me? I know that I live in beautiful Southern California, and I got it made literally in the shade out here. Because when I went flying Saturday, it was stunt heaven.
Yeah, come over here and fly with us. We got 8 inches of snow on the ground.
Yeah, you probably go, Charles. You don't need that many jackets, and you don't need to wear gloves, and you don't need thermal underwear. Come on.
Hey, Charles.
Hey, Mark, how's it going?
I'm going to send you a private chat, and I'll let you know if you think it's proper. Okay.
All righty, sounds good. Thank you. Yeah. So, I mean, I actually last Friday we got blown out. The winds. Matter of fact, we're in the wind advisory right now until tomorrow. Today was windy, about 18-mile-an-hour winds, and yeah, that'd be fine, Mark. Absolutely. Wow. Oh, it's sad to hear that.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Dennis. Go ahead, Mark.
Yeah, it just kind of saw it, and everybody else may have saw it on Stunthangar, but David Adamson passed away on Sunday. He just put a post up here just a little while ago. So everybody out there, and Danny, if you're listening, brother, all our thoughts and prayers are with you, and onward and upward. Yeah,
absolutely.
Danny put a really nice tribute, I guess you could say, in the post. So it's up on Stunthangar now. So yeah.
Thank you very much. And I'm glad that David did actually come in here at least once, maybe twice. And he talked about the evolution motors. He was instrumental in developing those motors. And I've seen a lot of things that I believe it's David. I don't know he has more than one brother, but I'm thinking this might be the one that did the
engine work. Yeah, I believe so.
Engine work. And he also did the 3D printing of some of the appliances for the motors.
Yeah, absolutely.
That is sad to hear that. So again, I echo Mark Lumen's sentiments toward your family, Dennis. So I don't know if you just heard that, Lynn, when he was coming in, Mark was announcing the passing of David, Dennis's brother.
Oh no! Oh, that's a shame. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Yep. So that's sad. But hey, have you gone to the bean field, Lynn? Have you done anything?
Oh no, there's nothing happening at the bean field right now, except we cut down a bunch of trees so that we don't get so much wind blowing across the circle, creating turbulence next year. So there won't be any flying for a while yet.
Have you made progress on your bear?
I have. I've got the wing just about finished now.
You got your tips done over the weekend?
Tips got done. Yes, they got done over the weekend. The tips are done and the flats are made, and we're in a weight of about 12 ounces right now.
How close are you to Ottawa?
Oh, I'm 4.5 hours, 5 hours. Actually, now that I've moved, I'm further than that. I'm probably 6 hours.
You need to send all your buddies there to support the truckers.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a long way from me.
If I was closer, I'd go.
Anyways, so Dennis, Lynn, pardon me. So
Yes.
what are you gonna be doing next? Yeah, you got the.
I'm gonna do it tomorrow. I'm gonna start doing the tails. So I'll get all the tails done and then I'll do the fuselage last. And then as I build the fuselage, I'll put the wing and tails in and then do the blocks after that. What I do is I lay the fuselage upside down on the table so it's nice and flat. Everything's perfectly leveled out that way. That way, when I install the wing in that position and the tail and get everything aligned all at once, basically.
Yeah, it's a good flat surface.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah.
See, once I get the wing in, then I flip the fuselage over and then I measure everything before I put the tail in. And then
Very good.
I got a suggestion for you, Len.
What's that?
Glue the turtle deck on, the bottom block on, put the tail in there, but leave it slide back and forth.
Yeah, I have to do that. Okay.
That's the last thing to put in, and then measure it, trailing edge, but eyeball it. And
eyeball it first. Yeah, okay.
Babysit it until the glue dries. Because what happens
I always do.
What happens is that the glue will pull it one side or another. And if
it does.
And if you put it on the table upside down, expecting it to be flat, it will not be square.
See, when I put the tail on, I make sure it's turned over by then. Like I turn the fuselage over when I put the tail in.
Well, make sure you got the turtle deck glued on, or the top block and the bottom block. That way you're not pulling any of the fuselage down when you pull that together.
Okay, I see what you mean. All right. Okay. That makes sense.
And
For
then
sure. Thank you.
Take a stick, a 64th piece of plywood with epoxy on it, and slide it in there to put the glue in that joint.
Okay.
And then babysit it, and there it'll be done.
Okay. Yeah, I find it's a very tense thing when you're doing the final assembly. Always, it's very tense because you only get one shot at it. If you bugger it, it's buggered. You can't fixing it's a total nightmare.
Yeah.
You either get it right, or you screwed the whole airplane.
Right.
We know.
Yeah, I'm on the other side of the coin. I usually fix it 3 or 4 times in the final.
No, you don't want to do that. No.
Measure 20 times and get it wrong 19. So
yeah. All right, as long as you don't measure 20 times and get it wrong 21.
Exactly. I mean, and since Sparky's on it, but I mean, watching the videos and you guys and stuff like that, me being new, to the hobby and building and stuff like that, there's so many things that has been learned, and just little things. I mean,
alignment is so important of everything.
Yeah.
From your hinges to your controls to alignment is everything. If the alignment's out, you might as well just toss the thing because it's never going to fly well. It's all relevant, I know, but it's alignment is so important. I've learned in the last few years that like everything has to be perfect or it just isn't going to work to the performance that you want.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And let me say hi to Phil. Hey, Phil, thanks for coming in. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Good to see everybody.
By the way, how you doing, man?
Phil?
Much better. I think I had a kidney stone. I'm not sure. We thought it was back problems, and I thought my back problem was moving down, and I think I had a kidney stone. And my shoulder still hurts, but when the kidney stone finally passed or eased up, I could feel my shoulder again. But until then, I hadn't even been paying attention to it because that thing hurts bad. So I don't know. We'll see. Doing better though. I feel like a human again, and I can get up and walk and not hurt so bad. So it's much better.
So all you can do now is work on your diet, just like all of us.
No, the problem is diet, but I'm bad about.
What the hell's a diet?
Yeah, my problem is I pop Tums too much. And those things are made of they have something in them that equates to chalk. And your body can't get
calcium.
rid of it.
You're right. It's calcium.
Yeah, so I just got to learn to take it easy on those things. Been told the next time I get a bad case of heartburn to drink a glass of milk, see what happens. So I'm not stupid. I see the airplane. I see.
I care
I
about
see.
you. I care about you, but I just want to stay on point. I do care about. I don't mean to be.
I know.
Hey,
Oh,
anyways,
Lord.
I
Hey,
got
Phil,
something to bring us back.
next time you go ahead.
Try and put me onto Kevlar thread. He talked about it before, so we're gonna in this twister we're building. Our lead outs are gonna be the Kevlar thread. I bought some today. I think it was like 100 feet of it for 200. No, hold on. It's 250 pound strength for 100 feet, and I think I got it for like $11. But the
Cool.
main thing that I was trying to do was try to figure out how to put it through my adjustable lead out. Just trying to see, can I actually?
That's the problem.
Hey, if
It
you have
got
a
really
pro-
pretty.
if
Well,
you have a problem with that, Brendan, put a little CA on it and work it out where it's like a needle and stick it through there.
that's what I did. Yeah, I just was sitting here and thought to myself, I did exactly that. It now fits like a charm, and I
Yeah.
mean it's still credible. You know,
Yeah.
despite as strong as it is, you know, scissors can go through it. So
Make sure you flare those guides on both sides.
Yeah.
what's that
The two guide holes that it goes through on your adjustable lead out.
now? Okay.
Make sure it's flared on both sides, at least a little bit, so that it
Are
won't rub against the edge.
Are they Durlin plastic or are they copper?
These are plastic.
Oh, you're good then. You don't need to worry. You're probably all right. Okay, that's fine.
What about when I'm tying it through the bell crank? You know,
Well, it's plastic too, isn't it?
not the one that I have here. It's a metal job.
Metal.
Yeah.
Did you say you're building a twister?
Yeah, we got a twister wing here. Yep.
Okay, so is it a kit or is it a scratch built wing?
So you're thinking that there should be a bell crank in there?
There should be.
Yes.
There should be a white plastic bell crank that says SIG on it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you know what?
Use that one. Don't use the metal one.
Okay, that would make more sense. A guy was helping me build a twister wing in the past, and I still have it here. But he had kind of ripped, I think, this out of another one and just gave it to me and told me to run with this. But at the time, I wasn't even thinking Kevlar thread, so that makes sense.
Okay. Yeah. No, the other bell crank will be much more friendly with the Kevlar thread.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good to know.
But make sure its corners are radius too.
Yeah.
'Cause
Radius, the edges of it.
Yeah,
So
all
it's
of it.
not. What I usually do is hold a big drill bit up to it, just spin it around. If it's sharp, just spin it around a few times in your hand. You'll see just a little bit of a radius on the holes then on both sides.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And any of you that think that you've learned it all, or somebody, you know, whatever, I still take notes.
That's what
Even
we
stuff
do.
I
Yep.
sure do. Because I'm getting to the age now where if I don't write it down, I know it tonight, but in the morning I won't know what the heck was said. So now when I hear something new, I write it down.
But Phil, do you remember where you wrote it?
Yeah,
That's my problem. I'll write it
I've
down.
got, and something else I've started, and I talked to. Okay, I'm talking too loud. Something else I've started doing, and a friend of mine I was talking to today is my mentor, and I told him something he didn't know. We're always, you build an airplane and a year down the road, you damage the airplane, you want to fix it. Well, what color did I use there? Well, I mean, I know it's green, but what shade of green or whatever. Make notes of everything as you go. What colors you use, how many coats you used, everything. And then when you go back to repair that plane, there it is. Just go back to that plane's pages in your book, and there it is.
How about saving some of the paint you painted it with? That's what I do.
Well, I try to, Sparky, but it generally between times when I damage the airplane, it'll be 3 weeks after the paint went hard in the can.
Yeah, that's common.
Yeah, I wish I
Sparky,
could.
you were going to say something.
The problem with writing down the color and not saving the paint is that 2 brand new cans of red paint, say your airplane's red, both cans will be different because
Yeah, I
they're
mix the two.
right. So if you paint the airplane and don't have any extra paint, so shit, I crashed, but it says here I used Fokker red. So you order a Focal Red and you put it on and go, it doesn't match.
That's true.
Right.
That's true.
Hey,
But I tell
Dennis,
you
thanks
what,
for
I
coming
wish.
in, and we're so sorry to hear about David passing away. Sorry about that.
Who passed
Well,
away?
thank you. I just posted something late here. My brother died yesterday.
Oh no.
Dave, he's the one who did all the 3D printing for Tom Morris and Okier and everything like that. He apparently slipped and fell and crashed in the bathroom.
Oh, wow.
And sometime between 10:30 Saturday night and they found him 3:30 Sunday afternoon. So,
Oh,
so
no.
Oh.
yeah, it was kind of a shock. Yeah.
We've
hell
talked
of a
him on
shock.
here.
Yeah, he was on
He
here.
was
I remember.
he was here one time. He had a blast with it, and he kept talking about joining us again, and he never got around to coming back, but he did have a good time
God.
with it. So
Yeah. That's good.
Sorry to hear
That's a
that,
shame.
Dennis.
What
Yeah.
was that, Dennis?
That was a good post too, Dennis, by the way.
he was a hell of a coach, great guy. No, Steve, my brother died yesterday. My brother Dave.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
just one more lesson, guys. It's all too fragile, all too fleeting, and it can be gone literally in a blink of an eye. So
Yeah. This is true.
live like you die tomorrow. You die knowing you'll live forever. So
Yeah.
True.
That's a shame.
So the
Yeah,
death was a result of the fall, huh? He just never got up from the fall.
no, well, we found him sprawled on the floor. The towel bar was busted, and there's apparently smacked his head on the vanity and the way down. It just looks like it just wiped him out in one shot. So
I just want to understand.
Shame.
Again, sorry to hear that. It's
Oh man.
yeah.
shocking,
That's
all
a
of that.
shame. That's a shame.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
really is a shame. He'd put together, he was up to about a half a dozen brand new airplanes or rebuilt airplanes and everything like that. He was just absolutely chomping at the bit to get out flying this spring.
Wow.
And it's just really,
Oh,
really
man.
sad. That's all. So
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is.
Did they just figure it was a slip on a wet floor, or did he have other problems?
yeah,
that-
well, that's it. It looked like he had gotten out of the tub and crashed. So the slip and
Yeah.
fall and crash and burn and everything else. So
Did he live there by you, Dennis, or was he still here in Michigan?
he
or-
was up in Northville, Michigan, on kind of northwest of the city, of Detroit, not too far from Metro Airport. So
Oh,
it's actually pretty close to Bob McDonald over in Livonia. He was in Northville, which is like next door to Livonia, where Bob McDonald is from.
What a shame.
That's unbelievable. Hey, Steve, thanks for coming in. Appreciate it.
Now that's your nephew you talk about that makes the mounts and stuff. That's his dad.
Well, Dave is the one who was making them for Tom Morris and Okier. He's the one that's made he's made 500 or 600 of them now. He's made a bunch. So, and he had 5 different printers, and he had just kept upgrading his game. The last one he got was a monster, and he got some extra parts for it. He actually could use the same basic machine for laser cutting. And he was looking at they had another head that they could use for doing cutting, routing, board cutting and stuff like that. So he was looking at getting at that too. He had just got the laser. He'd been babysitting the laser printer, trying to figure out how to use it, and he got to where he was comfortable with it, and he was ready to make some parts. So
Jesus Christ.
Oh, man.
Amazing. Hey, Steve, I like your hat. Where'd you get that hat? From the AMA website? That is sharp.
I bought it when I was there last summer.
mhm.
As long as it doesn't say Mac on it, you're safe.
Yeah, that's a cool looking hat. That is
it was a
cool.
good look. It was a good looking hat.
I just make everything look good that I wear, is what it is.
There you go.
Oh, brother.
Maybe
Oh,
you should model
God.
for the AMA then.
I haven't
I
seen
should,
you.
I should have been a model, but
Oh,
I was a
Steve,
little too short.
Hey, stick
You know,
to being a
what short
modeler.
models. You know what short
Steve.
models model, right, Steve?
No.
yeah.
Lingerie.
Mm.
So when you're short,
and-
you
and
model
Steve-
lingerie.
Now, if I modeled lingerie, that would guarantee a company to go out of business.
Oh, my God.
You'd be in the era of the Sears and Roebuck catalog, so you'd be right there with the big smiley guy and the white boxers. So yeah,
I was gonna have something to eat, but I don't know if I can handle it now.
Hey, if you want to go on a diet, Len, I'll send you a picture of me in lingerie,
No.
and then you can look. Then you can look at it before
I'm
every
sorry,
meal.
it's my fault. My fault.
Charles, you're killing us.
I don't know how we're gonna beat that one. I don't
Hey,
think
there
we're
was
gonna
a-
beat
saying
that
another
one tonight.
My
There
fault.
was
Take
a-
I take the hit for that.
there was a conversation that's been maybe a month or so ago, and it was discussing bell cranks. Example like I may not get the exact measurements right, but say a 3.5 inch or a 3 or a 4, or even a 5-inch bell crank in relationship to your handle spacing. And I don't quite remember the whole conversation, but it just kind of stuck in my mind. Is there a relationship, or good, bad, or indifferent, on the length of your bell crank versus your handle spacing? And if so, what's I'm going to say do's and don'ts. That might not be the right word.
But John Miller should be able to help us with that. And if Howard Rush was here, that's all about the geometry. John, Mark has a question about the width of the bell cranks in relation to the spacing and the handle size.
Yeah, and I know it's very, I guess, personal for a thing, because everybody has a different flying style and your control speed and stuff like that. I was looking over the spreadsheet that Howard had sent, the one he sent me, and you can just jump way in over your head with a lot of it, especially at my stage,
My stage, that stuff's
but
coming.
I can certainly see where there's
I gotta get that.
a connection, And
Well, if your bell crank's 4 inches and your handle's 4 inches, everything's kind of 1-to-1. If you go with a bigger bell crank, then of course it's going to get slower. It's going to feel like it's slower. If you go to a 3-inch bell crank and you got a 4-inch spread on your handle, or a 5-inch spread on your handle, then that's going to make it a lot faster. It's just, it's really whatever you like. It's a feel.
Well, sure. I mean, I think that's very true. Like I say, it's kind of personal too, because it's
See, there's so many ratios. Yeah.
A little bit slower 1-to-1 seems to work really well. In my stage, for sure.
Works well for me too.
I mean, I could yank a 90-degree corner, but I could yank it right in the ground doing it too. So
Well, a trick that I've done.
And haven't done it.
A trick that I've done, and a lot of other people done it. I wasn't the first to do it. Take a 3-inch bell crank, and where it says SIG in the middle of it, dot the I, and put your push rod off of that. Slows everything down a little bit. I mean, they got 2 holes in them anyway, but that outside, even the inside hole is still too fast. So dot the I, and it slows it down quite a bit. There you go.
There you go. And then, by the way, you guys, let Steve in next. He has a comment or a question or something to say.
Okay, yeah, perfect.
I mean, you can go ahead and finish, Phil, but I'm just saying that Steve come in next.
That was pretty much it. Right there's the bell crank, and I just dot that I right there, the top of that I. It slows it down. That's the way my boxcar chief was done 30 years ago, and I still do it when I can get those bell cranks.
Thank you, Dennis.
Gotcha.
The problem with a SIG twister is the plan.
Hang on, Lynn.
Sorry. Go ahead. Yeah.
Okay.
Go, Steve.
Steve, where'd you go?
I wanted to talk to Brendan for a minute.
Is it about bell cranks?
Is your son around at all?
No, I've been bringing him in on Fridays. He's 11, so it gets a little late. So we decided just to bring him in on Fridays.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Let's get back to the bell cranks. I thought you was going to comment on the bell crank, Steve.
Oh, no, I had a question for
Okay.
some or whatever.
So anyways, Lynn, go ahead, Lynn. And then I'll go after
No, I
you,
was
Lynn.
just gonna say the problem, one of the problems with the SIG twister is that they show on the plans to use the outside hole of the bell crank. Well, that makes the controls pretty fast.
Exactly. That's kind of where I was.
At worst, you want to use the inside hole.
Right.
Yeah.
Do not use this one. Use this, or like Phil said, move it just a little farther by dotting the I. He's going
Exactly.
in another
exactly.
eighth of an inch or so, Phil.
Yeah,
That's about
yeah,
right.
that's about right.
Right.
That- That'll make that 3-inch bell crank act a lot like a 4-inch bell crank, though it
Yeah.
won't have the
Yeah.
leverage. It'll have the
That's-
speed.
That's
Mm,
right.
It does. It slows it down and actually and gives you more leverage too. But
mhm.
So
4-inch bell crank won't fit in all the designs, unfortunately. There you go. That's it. That's a good way to do it too. I'd use the
Yeah,
inside hole.
okay, yeah. Use. Whoops. Yeah, I can see. So the inside.
Yeah, I always use the inside hole on the Brodak. I think it's already, I think it's less than a half inch, but I routinely use the inside hole with a 3 or 4 inch. And usually the outside hole with the flap, and that go from there. But
Perfect. Yeah. And this is
Go ahead, Mark.
this
Go
is
ahead.
yeah, this is gonna be like a relatively small, just a fun model anyway. That the little fancy pants, I would
You'd
just.
be surprised.
Oh,
You'll be surprised.
I'm happy. I'll be happy with it. Like I said, I really like the. It's my kind of first build of a full fuselage. I mean, it's small, but it gives you the technique, and the
Yeah.
different leading edge, with the full sheeted leading edge,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and that, and of course cap strips and all the little things like that, and wing mounted landing gear. So for me, it was a pretty good interim kit. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a great little kit and it's a great little airplane. You'll be surprised how well that thing flies.
Yeah. I think it's gonna be
Fox 35 on that it's almost too much power, but it's just right, especially in the wind. You'll love it.
Yeah, I was started with that FP20, but it was one of my newbie building mistakes. As I built the craft, I was all excited and got everything done, and then went to fit the motor on there and didn't fit.
That's all right.
The whole spacing, is too narrow on the FP20. So I got a red head. I got a McCoy red head. I'm gonna stick on there. That really it fits in there well.
If you want to use the 20, I do it all the time, but when the plans show the motor mount, wherever they show the motor mounts, if the motor's right side up, now let me qualify this. If the motor's right side up,
this
like
one,
that one, drop the motor mounts down. It's too late for that one, probably. Drop the motor mounts down 1/8 of an inch and then use 1/8 of an inch aluminum pad to set the motor on. Then on something like the fancy pants, you can make a C-shaped one and just, when you put that in there, the plate in there, you just cut it out enough for the motor to fit in. All right. Now, when you put the motor in the plate, it doesn't matter if the motor mounts stop here and the motor stops here. The plate takes up the difference, and you're bolted to the aluminum plate, and it's bolted to the plane.
Yeah,
I've got several like that.
Yeah, that makes sense. Hey, like I say, it to me, it wasn't a disaster. I just went to the motor box and said, okay,
yeah,
it fits.
Yeah, that'll work.
Yeah.
That'll work. That little FP20 is a great little motor, I'm telling you.
Yeah,
You'd be
Power
amazed
in
how
that too.
you'd be surprised how much power that little plane makes. That
Oh,
motor
yeah.
makes.
and I've heard the same about the 40s too. The FP40s. Yeah.
I want to give, I
Go
want to
ahead.
give John Miller a chance. I
Yeah,
thought
sorry
he was
about
going to comment on the bell crank and handle.
Yeah.
Did you have a comment, John? I know you've done stuff with geometry.
Oh, he
Well,
was really.
Yeah. Actually, it was pretty well covered. I'm not a huge fan of 1-to-1. I'm I like a little different, but that's me. Okay, that's how I like it. But you know, if that's what floats your boat, man, go for it. The thing is you can adjust somewhat after you built the airplane. Say you set it up at a certain ratio or like 1-to-1, and that doesn't work for you. You know, it's still too fast. You can take your handle and make it wider, make the spacing wider.
Right.
That'll slow it down. Or if it's too slow, opposite, make it narrower.
Right.
Everybody's aware of that. And so, you know, what I like is irrelevant as long as you got everything in there good, solid, and tight. And, you know, you know, if it's got flaps, your flaps and elevator are aligned. Now I'm more of a push on the flap to elevator or flap belt crank. I want to, if I have 45 degrees of belt crank movement, if I'm 1-to-1, I want 45 degrees of flap movement, you know, both ways. So if I got 45 up, I want 45 belt crank or flap movement. Got 45 degrees down, I want 45. I personally like to have 27 to 30 degrees maximum flap, but I like a little more than that on the elevator. The flap is critical. The belt crank flap is the most critical control setup that you got, because your elevator push rod going back to the elevator horn is pretty close to a straight line. It might bend down a little bit, but it's closer to a straight line. So if you've got equal on the flaps, you'll have equal or very close to equal on the elevator. And so I'm not as worried about the elevator. And if you're running a separate push rod from the belt crank back to the elevator, it'll be even more likely that you'll have equal elevator. So that's the way I set them up.
Yeah. I mean, I think if you had and this is just, I'm thinking logic, not experience or things like that. So correct me when I get it wrong, you know, but example, when you're talking about the amount of elevator and the amount of flap, you know, if you have more elevator than you do flap, deflection, wouldn't that give you a tighter turn radius?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
yeah. I'm just trying to get it.
What happens is you're balancing the lift of the wing to the down thrust on the elevator. So if you got too much, your airplane rotates. Well, it's not quite this bad, but like it was centered on the tail, like on the elevator. And so the nose comes up rather than it pivoting on the center of the airplane.
Okay. That makes perfect sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Excellent. If I could throw in my 2 cents, you know, but I fly these heavy airplanes just like Lynn. So I like a lot of leverage. I want to have maximum spacing on my handle to get leverage. And so I like 4-inch bell cranks. When I built my French-rise twister, I think it called for, at least the stock twister called for a 3-inch bell crank. I put a 4-inch bell crank in that. And even my Nobler, I had a Nobler ARF that I went through. I put a 4-inch bell crank in my Nobler ARF. And I was at a contest, and Lou Walgas was there. I was doing the vertical 8, and I did not have enough height when it came down off the top to go down. And I actually pulled the plane off the deck. So I wasn't going to crash it. And Lou, he goes, "How did you?" Here. And I, because I had so much leverage, I literally I pulled my Nobler off the deck. I mean, it should have been a crash. So I don't like to fly small planes. I like flying big planes, but either way, I like a lot of leverage because I'm a strong guy too. I don't want to waste my strength, and if I can't get the leverage, what good is all the extra strength I have?
Right.
So that's
makes sense to me.
Lynn.
And by the way, I just saw Debbie. Hey, Debbie, haven't seen you since Las Vegas Stunt Challenge. That is Debbie back there, right, Dennis? I know you're muted, Dennis. Anyways, I believe I see Debbie back there. Hello. Anyways.
Hi, Debbie.
I think they're talking. Dennis and Debbie must be having a conversation.
Yeah, well, I'm sure they got things to talk about.
Oh, absolutely.
Lana had something,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think.
Steve, I'm sorry. Steve, your hand was raised.
Now,
Go
can I
ahead,
talk
Steve.
to Brendan?
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I'm here. What's up?
Hey, is that airplane, is that gonna be Engstrom's PA ship for the Nats?
Yeah, that's our plan. Hopefully.
Okay, I talked to Samantha the other day, and she told me to tell him, and you can let him know, I can get back on Friday, that
Okay.
if he builds that PA ship, she'll give him a Vector 40 electric ARF, all set up, motor, everything.
All right.
It'll just need batteries. And then if he wants to fly, he can use that to fly an intermediate. So he
Sure.
doesn't have to use his PA plane.
Yeah.
Take the chance of something happening to it before Saturday.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds fantastic. Yeah, I'm sure he'll. You know what? I'm glad you offer that as a motivator because, and I've said it on here. I mean, he's 11, so you know we can expect him to sit here hours and hours on it. But you know, there's some kind of back and forth. He says he wants to build, and you know, I'm not forcing him on this thing. He says he wants to build, but there's a little bit of, you know, carrot on the string sounds good there. So I'll let him know that now there's something on the other end of things for putting this together. I'm sure he'll
tell him I'll bring it to Brodex
okay
for him.
Yeah,
It's it's the one she used to get ready for World Championships before her World's plane. We took it to North Carolina, we took it to Florida, we took it all over. So, but yeah, it's still a good airplane. It has a teeny bit of hanger rash on it, but not much.
Okay. Yeah, we've got actually, I think we got into this mode for a minute. We really wanted to make a whole bunch of twisters because I like standardized things. I like having a fleet of something so that I know what's wrong with it. I can fix it. I can adjust it. Hopefully, you know, it's all kind of similar. So I've got, I think, 4 twister kits. So my hope is that at least make a couple of these with them. That way, we got them lined up. I think I talked about nostalgia. It could be his nostalgia plane. You know, it could be his profile plane, but really get him kind of centered on twisters and feeling out twisters and knowing kind of the differences and how they handle and learning, you know, all those
It's a
elements.
great airplane.
That twister, just remember that twister that I gave you, I was going to put on the burn pile because it only, you know, you can learn to fly inverted with it and do one loop, but there's something wrong with that airplane unless you can figure it out. I mean, if you look at it, you can see where we tried different flap to elevator ratios, all kinds of tip weight, getting rid of tip weight, just doing all kinds of stuff, and never could get that airplane to fly again.
Well, I'll tell you what, that was the plane that he took to Nats this year for beginner. And, you know, there were the hurricane force winds out there that they made us fly the beginner event in. And he got through it. He handled it well. And maybe that's what it takes, you know, the 15-mile-an-hour winds or whatever it was, because he handled it well and got good use out of it. So.
Yeah, beginner, it's a good airplane, but once you start doing the full pattern, you'll see there's some big time stuff with it, especially square eights.
Okay.
It just does not fly well.
Okay.
And we never could figure it out. We're wondering if where the Dennis was saying something about it, where that huge canopy's at, if it's in the wrong spot and it's kind of acting like a rudder, you know, Dennis suggested just chopping it off and trying to fly it without that. That wouldn't, you know, that.
Well, we were discussing with Steve and Sammy's airplane was going through, and so that was just kind of an thinking out loud. There wasn't backed up by any data or any tests or anything like that. But
right,
I'd lobby for an extra for either cutting the canopy down or making the fin bigger, and just changing the side area balance and getting it back a little bit.
Now, there's something wrong with that airplane, and that's, when I gave it to you,
Yeah.
I said, hey, it's a good crash and burn airplane.
Well,
Burn
that's
inverted.
just it. Yeah, that's just it. We were at a point where, it may not have survived takeoff with us with how we were flying. So,
Yeah, it was good for what you did, but I mean, yeah, you might be able to learn from that. If you make the rudder bigger or cut down that canopy, see if that makes it, because we could not figure out what to do with that airplane. We tried everything.
Did you do anything else, like try to shorten the nose or anything like that, or move the wing forward, or you just basically building it stock?
oh, the one I'm building right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we just got the wing together. We're fancherizing it, so I got fancherized right here. But yeah, I've been opening it up for some talk.
Oh, wait a minute. Are you starting with a twister or a banshee?
A twister.
Okay.
So yeah, got the fancherized plans. I also built up or started a building techniques post on Stunthangar. I know that
I saw that.
Yeah, it doesn't get as much traffic, I would think, as the open forum, but we've been chronicling it there, and we've been trying to get here on Friday nights with Angstrom to do some of the building so that we can troubleshoot some of the things we run into.
Now, are you going to build a pocket in the wing for the battery?
Yeah, that's something I have not game planned yet by looking at but we focused on the wing, but yeah, I've been retrofitting a lot of planes because we get a lot of handouts from people, retrofitting planes just by slapping a battery on the side. But I probably would like to mount the battery internally somehow, or somewhere that's got a little more stability to it and consistency for where the placement is.
Let me interrupt you guys. Let me stop. Do you guys see the hand raise in John Miller's window? Do you guys see that?
No. Oh yeah.
No.
You try to be conscious of that because he's been waiting for a long time. I don't know what John wants to say, but he's been waiting for a while. And so I'm going to interrupt this, just let John a chance to say what he wants to say.
Oh,
just
okay.
keep an eye out for that stuff, because that's what I got to do as a moderator, try to get people in.
It's about what you're talking about that I have to make a comment. Brendan, I think you're wise to stick with the twisters while you're going through this phase, because they build quick, they take a beating, and they'll serve you well. There's a point, like Steve was saying, though, they'll only take you so far. Though I know one guy, Garrett, that went all the way from beginner to expert with a stock standardized twister, and he flew that very nicely, very well.
Yeah,
but
that was
on it.
Was it a IC? Was it a IC, John?
Yeah, it was an OS 40 on it.
Right, and that's where the difference comes in, trying to make the twister an electric.
Yeah. Well, anyway, getting back to where I was going on this, because I was just setting it up. Years ago, back in about 91 or thereabouts, in 89, I built my first twister, a franchise twister. And I liked it so much that in 1990, actually, I started the drawings for a full-bodied franchise twister. And it wound up being published under the name Twister Sister. It's an easy one to build because, and it uses a RC mount for the engine mount, and it uses the bottom of a 1 liter soda bottle, and you make that into a radial cowl for it. I flew it with a 28. It can be 28 Sportster. It also flew it with an OS 40 FP, which it really liked the extra power. Anyway, here's the offer. You get yourself trained, or you get your son trained on that and let me know, and I'll, when the time comes, I'll give you a set of plans for that twister sister, and you can go to a step up to the full body twist, basically the same airplane but full body, that will take you up into the advanced class.
Okay, sounds good.
Well, you might want to get with Dennis and find out if he's got an electric conversion that would go on the front of that twister.
You just got it.
Right there.
Shameless plug time.
Yeah.
Very
This
good.
is actually a Brodak tanager. The tanager is actually about 100 square inches bigger than a twister, but nominally they're very, very similar. And this is the I forget the number on it. I'd have to look it up. It's the universal E conversion. As you can see, it's just basically a box and mount. Uses a inboard side access battery.
That is slick.
Yeah.
If you got one of your brother's engine set up, that opening there on the front, is that your brother's style printed?
No, this is all plywood. Brodak does laser cutting. All right. So
Yeah. Oh,
What number is that, Dennis?
geez. I'd have to look it up. Hang on a second. I'll stand by for that. I'll take a look.
I'll
for
order
it.
a couple of them if you can tell me what it is.
You mean the kit?
Yeah,
number?
the neat thing about it, it's made as a universal. You can cut off, it's like 10.5 inches long, but you could cut it down to, I think, 8 inches on a short fuse. And you might be able to actually cheat it down a little more than that if you wanted, if you shorten a side door or something like that. So it's pretty flexible that way and made to fit right in. I just did it, plain on that, but I think the thing is just dying for like a 1/2 inch cheek cowl or something like that. You could make the thing make it look like it was.
Say the same thing.
Yeah.
I think that
Things
would
make
look good on
it
a
look
custom-
round, yeah.
So
I think
yeah,
it'll look good on a
Unique.
when you might even be able to redo that twister I gave you, put something like that on the front.
Sure.
But you could fanterize it. You could get the tail moments and stuff where you need it. But when you make that nose shorter, there's no place for the battery on them things as it was. And that battery was always on an angle.
I like the spinner.
I traded it pointed down, pointed up, and it'd make the airplane fly different. Still not good, but I was always wondering with that battery pointing funny, the wind hitting it and in causing some kind of a roll or a turn or something that was messing that airplane up.
Yeah.
And
It would push the nose up or down, yeah.
so
I like that a lot.
if you could put a nose like that on a franchise twister, make it for electric, I think they will fly great. But trying to make an IC twister with electric without modifying the front end like Dennis has done for that one,
Yep.
there's a problem. And I think, it could have been how the battery was on there. We try to fix all kinds of stuff and never could get it right. And like I said, I was gonna put it in the burn barrel and Dick talked me into not doing it, giving it to you, and I'm like, all right, I'll give it to him. But I got so tired of Samantha getting crappy airplanes.
Yeah.
That's why I was gonna put it in the burn barrel. And it's like, we'll give it to you, but let you know it's only good for beginner or whatever, that then don't waste your time with it because it's going to hinder them learning how to fly the whole pattern on an airplane that can't hardly fly the whole pattern.
Right.
Samantha could get it through the pattern and stuff like that, but we just finally said, forget it. It ain't worth it. Actually, we went back to IC. It flew so bad, and then we came back to electric once we went to that vector. So, and that's the second one that Samantha had. So, and it flies great, and we'll give it to him if he builds that one.
All right. Well, yeah. If you're on Friday, maybe I'll save it for then for you to let him know. But let him know he's going to get this one done.
And then I'm going to talk to you if you tell me I need to bring it to Brodak or I need to leave it home.
Okay. Yeah, well,
Yeah,
yeah. He's got some
Brandon,
cold
that's
months. He's got cold months inside to be working on this thing, so he needs to get it done here in the cold months.
Yeah, and really, he only has to build a fuselage. And that, that would show him building that, like Dennis got that there. That'll give him a good idea how to do electric, the noses on electric and stuff. And
Yeah, and I can save on shipping because I can just walk right on over to Brodex and pick me up one. So
yeah.
Oh, by the way, it is number 2022.
20.
That's
Hey,
what I'm-
2022. It must have came out this year, huh, Dennis?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. No, I brought it out a year ahead of time, Steve. So in anticipation.
Okay, that's the Universal E.
Right.
BH 2022, 1999. Okay.
Very
For the
good.
conversion kit.
What'd you say that'll go out to 9 inches?
I'm sorry,
That'll go out to 9 inches long?
10 and a half.
Oh, 10 and a half. That's perfect. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, a 10 and a half is probably past the leading edge a little bit. And you got room to put a pocket in the leading edge if you want. And even if you don't, if you can make it fit the wing like that, that plywood acts like a cheek cowl on either side
Yeah.
and helps stiffen the whole nose up. All right. So you get the effect of a cheek cowl, only you get it on both sides of the wing to strengthen the nose, to stiffen up the nose. So
that looks to me that might even fit inside of a full fuse.
inside of,
A full fuselage, you could.
oh
make it-
yeah. I actually looking at one, where I got an old airplane that I'm trying to convert over, and I actually cut a slot out of the fuselage, and it's almost line to line with the mount. It's about, I think, 2 inches overall.
Okay.
So 2 inches or 1 3/4. I can't remember offhand. I don't have a ruler handy, but Brendan, I like I say, it's a shameless plug. I mean, I got to catch up with Mr. Pathfinder here on my shameless plugs. So
Ding.
Hey, you can put that in a Pathfinder, couldn't you?
oh, you
Yep.
sure could. Sure
How about
could.
a cardinal?
Yeah.
Profile
Yeah.
cardinal?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, to profile anything. It'll work like
Okay, that is
crazy.
cool.
Very cool.
Well, one thing, and Steve was hitting on it, part of what he was saying, you take a look profile with an IC motor, a profile, it's kind of a dirty airplane with the engine hanging off the side and the tank and everything all on one side and stuff. But if you do something, you make it electric and you do something like that, that is a very clean airplane. That's as clean as a full fuselage airplane. All right.
Absolutely.
And then, from here back, it's just a profile. I mean, this is just a slab profile, not built up or anything like that, just a 1/2 inch slab. So it's nice and simple. It's super clean up front and everything like that. I gotta wonder, that should be, even as a beginner airplane, it should be a very clean, non-draggy airplane. It should work well for you.
Yeah.
And I like,
When you go to a full fuselage, it's going to be for a full aesthetic, but you're not going to get any more cleanliness out of it, if you will, any more aerodynamics out of it. So,
well,
sorry, Steve.
that's kind of like the one you made for Samantha there for that Kraken airplane.
Yeah, well, that's it.
And
And
then
of
you
course,
just
that
made
was
it-
a box that fit in the fuselage, but yeah, it could have
Right.
easily fit in a profile.
What's
Right.
the number on that again, Dennis?
Number 2022.
Yeah.
Just remember the year.
That's easy.
Yeah.
Yes, let me interrupt for a second. I want to give recognition to supporter John Shukalek. Thank you very much, John. He donated $30 using the super chat. And if you want to join in in the chat box in the bottom is a big $sign. You just click on that like John did, and then donate. And we need your donations. So I appreciate it, John. Thank you so much for your $30. Of course, the YouTube takes part of it, but it does help us. So please super chat or join our YouTube memberships. And there's 3 tiers. And so appreciate it. Thank you very much. Right now we have 20 concurrent viewers. We've been as high as almost 25 viewers. And we have 17 likes. So if you haven't hit the like button, please do that. That helps the analytics of the channel. And with that being said, go ahead and carry on.
Well, guys, I'm gonna get out of here. My back is killing me. I heard it last week and I just can't get it fixed and I can't sit in this chair anymore. So
All right. Well, thanks for coming in, Steve.
Take it easy,
yeah,
easy,
I'll try
Steve.
to get on Friday, Brendan, and
Yeah, we'll be there bright and early because again, with him being 11, who knows
Right.
when he's gonna conk out. But yeah, we'll be there.
okay. Well, I'll let him know and make the deal with him and even deliver it. So
All right.
he just got to do a little work on that one.
All right.
Steve, have a
So-
great week, buddy.
Yep. Take her easy.
Take her
guys.
easy, Steve.
Yeah,
Yep.
Steve.
Good night.
Right. I'll give you a call tomorrow, Dennis.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. Bye.
Hey, Dennis, just as a finish up to your your build up there, the electric piece, that piece you showed for the flight streak the other day. We've got a couple of flight streaks and whatnot, and that was brilliant with that removable tab on there on the wing. Because I'll tell you what, with us trying to use that, that was actually Angstrom's first true when we went to competition plane. And getting a battery on there, even one of the small Turnigy, 3S batteries, there was just no nose to it. I had to put it on an angle and it looks goofy.
Yeah.
So there's no nose on that thing, but that design was fantastic.
Yeah. Well, I did something like that, the Shark 402, which is, I think, a bit more, it's like a more refined flight streak when you come right down to it. It's just a beautiful, beautiful wing on it. It's got a little better, longer fuselage and stuff. As a stunt trainer, I really like the Shark 402 even better than the flight streak. And yeah, that used the same thing for the same reason. Like you say, there's just, it's a real bear getting a battery in there. So you end up using either a too small a battery or, wedging it in, and it's just not a happy combination. So yeah, having that little fitting in there help.
Yep.
Hey, I got another toy I want to show off.
All right. They make you big, Dennis.
Uh,
Dennis, I have a question regarding the Shark 402. Is that the same size as the flight streak?
The Shark 402, I think they're both just over 400 square inches. It's virtually identical.
Okay.
Okay, did everybody see? Oh, man, see the little loop on the line clip?
Yeah.
It's a Lenny loop.
No, it's a
There's a
different-
Lenny loop.
I got a Lenny loop holding a solid wire ring, not a split
Okay.
ring.
Okay.
The ring is rated at a 100-pound pull test.
Huh.
So that'll even hold up the Lenny's airplanes. So
Where did you find it?
a place called Tackle Direct. I'm going to add that to the post on the Spectra lines.
Good.
And then after this, these are about 37 thousandths in diameter, the ring. And
Yeah.
after I found these, I found some more that were rated at like 184 pounds. So I'm
Wow.
thinking that they're a little bigger wire yet. And I think bigger diameter wire is going to be friendly for when you put the loop, for when you tie the ring in place. Just a
Nice.
little more diameter,
Yeah.
the line won't
Yeah.
be quite so tight. But these things, they're small enough, they're weightless. And to me, that absolutely cinches it as far as, tying the double loops together and using it with a hard point handle with interchangeable line clips or something like that. And of
Mhm.
course,
Yeah.
you can take it and use it on that end of the clip. Oop. Yeah, there.
Yeah. It's big enough. It fits.
Big enough for the scissors and everything like that. So I'm real. I
Still
thought-
gotta
Good
use a
idea,
piece of fuel tubing over it though, so the clips don't slide.
I think that would still be a good idea.
Oh yeah,
So-
otherwise if you're gonna wing over and it slides, you could be in big trouble real quick
Yeah,
if it goes soft.
it doesn't look, it looks like it kind of slides right in there. Oops, but it's actually small enough it can slide right out, I guess,
Oh boy.
depending on how well your scissors is made.
Right.
Okay.
If you're using an old style, one of the old Sullivan style clips, it's no issue, but
Yeah, that's right.
yeah, the clips like this are different. But I got here's one, a different ring. with the other style, with the old Sullivan style scissors. And when that slides over it, it comes together tight enough and everything like that. Nothing really slips out of it. But
Yeah, that's nice.
any rate, just one more thing. I think it'll help with our
Cool.
quest here to make these things as friendly as possible. So if you don't tie the clip to the lines, then you can tie the clip to the loop instead and have a pretty friendly, changeable line clip that way.
Sounds good.
Dennis, with the spectrum lines, are you able to use longer lines as well? Like a foot longer when you go to the Spectra, because they're thin in diameter?
I happened to do that. I was flying on 65 foot lines, and I was still undersized. So I decided I could go to 66 feet and still be under 70.
All right,
And
cool.
figured, why the heck not? All right.
Why the heck not?
Len, I think you did something very similar for similar
Yeah, I
reasons,
did
right?
that too. Yeah, I did the same thing and it worked fine. There was no
Yeah.
problem because the lines are so much lighter.
Yeah, I think that
Just
when
be
you,
careful of your fuel consumption because you're flying further. That's all.
that's exactly right. Your
Oh.
fuel
You
by
don't want to
what,
lose your
where-
plane in the clover.
no matter what kind of fuel you're using. All
Yeah.
right.
Just
Good
make
point.
sure you
Good
measure
point.
your fuel consumption before you go nuts.
That's it. Even if you're using that greasy kid stuff.
That's
So
right.
You just
And
adjust.
I like
if
it.
that.
if you're doing electrons, make sure you got enough battery. Same thing.
that's
Yeah.
exactly right. And yes, I was aware of that. The 1 foot of line isn't a lot of difference. It was, to my mind, it was just the right direction though. The airplane, a 4 foot long fuselage needs to fill a 70-foot hemisphere, not
Yes,
a
it does.
68 or a 62 or something like that. It just
right.
looks too cramped. So
It does make it look better, makes it
Yeah.
look much less cramped on longer lines.
mhm,
Everybody
mhm.
kept telling me the shorter, the smaller airplanes just look like they fly more of their own length through the turns. I said, yeah, but if you put them on longer lines, the big ones will do the same thing. So, and they won't argue with me, but that's okay. I don't mind. Everybody's got their own opinion. The
That's
thing
right.
of it is, there's only a couple of us in our club that do a whole lot of judging, Terry and I, and I think we both like the longer lines for that reason. It makes it look a little better.
Mhm.
But anyway, everybody's got their own opinion on that one. Dennis, what do you fly? You have so many different airplanes. What do you fly the most?
Whatever, just whatever. If I'm getting ready for competition, I fly the competition airplane. If I'm between contests or something like that, I'll be flying an experiment,
Yeah.
And
That's
last
kind of,
year I was messing around with, this prop is a 3-blader from Bob McDonald. It's a left-hand 3-blader, carbon, derived from an
wow.
APC, and I wanted to see how it worked. And so I was trying that, comparing it to my baseline is a 12.6 APC. And so that's where I was at with that. And I don't know if you keep doing the same old thing, that's fine. But somewhere along the line, it's nice to have try something a little bit different somewhere along the line.
What's your line, Dennis?
Well,
What's your line? There's a line you used to use many years ago about sameness. What was
I
it?
don't know.
Come on now, it was in your article. Sameness is never better, but
Yeah, that's
different
it.
might be better.
Different might not be better, but sameness is never better.
That's
So
right.
Yeah. Well, I agree with you. I fly. The guys get after me because everybody thinks, well, if you're going to fly in contests, you need to always fly your contest airplanes. And they get after me because I'll fly an old ringmaster that's just a beater, or I'll fly just a different airplane every week. And they always wonder why. I said, well, I feel like it makes me more adaptive. I may be just fooling myself, but I think it trains you to be more adaptable. You fly just one airplane, you get used to that airplane. You pick up another handle and you're lost. But if you fly
I think I vary that a little bit, Phil. You fly an airplane, you get used to its quirks and everything like that. You may not realize that there's something better out there.
Yeah.
All right. And
Yeah.
you might realize that, gosh, I don't have to pull so hard to make a corner, or gosh, I don't have to hold my breath so I don't bobble it, or something like that. And then you fly a different airplane and stuff like that, and what makes it respond different, and do I like this or not, and why not? Can I change it? Can I make it better? Can I make the other airplane better?
Yeah.
Right.
So
Yeah, but I like that. That's a good analogy of it. But I like
Yeah.
flying different airplanes because you don't get so in a rut. I feel like I get in a rut when I just fly one plane.
yeah,
So I'll
yeah.
fly an old timer this week, and a modern next week, and a profile next week, and a classic next week. And it's just, I think it's a lot of fun. I don't know. I
Well,
generally
when you,
take 2 airplanes out there, and I'll fly one 3 or 4 flights, and I'll fly the other 2 or 3 flights, and just that way I keep all the planes flying.
well,
Hey,
try to
David.
get them all trimmed up so you can pick them up and fly them in hopefully just a day or so, because if you get ready for something like Brodak,
Yeah.
God help you if you're there learning your airplane, every
Yeah.
day, for
Yeah, you
old
don't
time,
wanna
for
do that.
classic, for
Yeah.
profile, for ringmaster, for, oh my God, it's time for expert. And it's like,
Yeah,
you better,
that's gonna be a hassle this year because the change to the new lines. My ringmaster flies beautiful on metal, but on the cloth, oh man, I got too much tip weight, and mine is non-adjustable. Oh, I may have to fly that one on wires.
well,
I hate
All right.
that, but I have to.
Put some inside tip weight.
that's
No.
right.
No,
You can
no,
get
I-
there from here. Eddie's right. You can get there from here.
well, that's true. You can do it. You can do it. We used to have a fella, and I can't remember who it was, but flew an All-American senior. Now, I had an All-American senior that I only had mine a few flights because I crashed it. But that thing took off, and it tried to come in at me and eat me every takeoff. And he had a big clump of clay on the inboard wing. I could not figure out what the heck he was doing. But whoever had built the airplane, he didn't build it. And whoever built it apparently built a whole bunch of lead into the airplane. It was just too darn much. So that's what he was doing. He was balancing it out. And it flew very well. But it looked very weird. Weight
Well,
on the inboard wing.
I've flown mine with inboard tip weight, nothing in the outside, but I cheat. I'm using a left-hand prop, so the torque is working the right way.
Yeah.
And it takes off and lands like a racer. So
Yeah. Yeah, mine had a left-hand Fox crank in it. And I thought the motor was I thought I had run it in enough on the ground. And I put it in the airplane and took it out there. Charlie Reeves came to town, and I wanted to fly for Charlie, And I took off and tried to fly it, and the motor just seized, and it went straight in, kabam. So it was busted so bad in so many places. I just took everything out of it and put it in the can. It was terrible. But anyway, one of them deals. If you build light, they fly better, but you don't build them to crash. And if you build them to crash, they don't fly worth a flip. So
if you build them to survive a crash, that's good because they're going to crash. So
I guarantee it. I just
Yeah.
all but. But anyway,
Yeah.
And oh, by the way, you can never build it to survive a crash because it's going to break someplace that you never expected.
That's the truth. But this one just had stress cracks the entire length of the wing, and the fuselage was in 2 pieces or 3 pieces. I can't even remember now. But I just well, live a little, learn a little. That motor was not broke in. I thought it was, but it wasn't.
Let me interrupt. I'm not sure who was first. Was it John or was it you, Mark?
Oh, I don't know. John,
All
go.
right.
Okay, I'll go first, then I'll turn it over to you, Mark. I used to launch for Alan Brickhouse. I used to launch his All-American senior. And what he had me do when I launched to avoid that coming in at him like that, was I would hold the airplane, but I put this finger down, I'd hold that tail of that airplane up off the ground. So the airplane basically, you probably know this already, don't you?
Yeah, I
I'd
learned
launch
the hard
that,
way.
and that airplane take off straight. Now maybe you got something else going I don't know about.
No, that's it. That's what we
Can you
did
say that
on
again,
the
John?
Lufthansa
I
thing.
think I missed that in
Go
the
ahead.
translation.
Well, the idea is that it's a short coupled airplane. You put it on the tail wheel and that thing's pointed up like this and the torque will turn you in. So what he had me do is I'd hold it back right in front of the elevator and I put my finger down. So I was holding it up basically level. And I'd hold it that way. And when he'd give me the go away, the hand, go, I just let it go and get my hand out of the way. Well, the tail was already up, so it would track better and it would take off better.
All right, excellent.
So-
That's a great idea. I never knew that. That's so you just basically taking off on the mains.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've already got it up on the mains before you let it go.
Excellent. Okay, cool. I'll keep that in mind. Go ahead, Mark.
No, there you go.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, John. Was you done?
Yeah. Hey, Dennis.
No,
I on that spinner and that collet. I know I'm backing up a little bit. Was that a Brodak spinner?
No,
Okay.
no, that was a,
Because I like the cooling, the
yeah, that
And the
was
collet.
one that, well, my brother Dave, who I just lost, he printed that up for me last year.
oh wow, okay. Okay.
So
Dave-
the weighs about 12 grams, so 1 3/4 inch. And, made it with the cooling slots and stuff. Three screws to hold it because the 3 bladers, that's the only way to get the screws
Gotcha.
evenly spaced. But yeah,
Yeah, that's nice. That's a
and
Yeah.
it's, it's printed in the 3 colors layered all together, so the paint will never chip off. So
yeah, good stuff.
Excuse
Oh,
me,
that's awesome.
Dennis,
It's a nice prop,
you say-
nice spinner. Very nice spinner.
You broke up,
excuse
John.
me, Dennis, I didn't know that. Did Dave pass on? Is that what he said?
yeah, my brother Dave.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
I really am.
No.
I wish you and your family
Hmm.
solace.
I appreciate that, John. It's pretty tough loss for us, obviously, and
Mm.
whatever. So,
Yeah.
okay. Hey, can I share some pictures here?
Oh, that'd be great. Oh, that'd be awesome. Yeah, please do that. You're a spotlight for everyone.
All right, let me see if I can.
Yeah.
All right, I actually did these once before, so let's see how it worked. This is at Brodak. Last time I was there, my good buddy Wesley Dick is launching, and this is an All-American launch.
Is that an
Nice.
electric powered All-American?
Of course,
Cool deal.
you must be new around here, my friend.
No, I just didn't know you had an All-American. That's cool.
You ain't from around here, are you?
See how he's
What I
holding the
can't
tail up?
see, yeah, no,
Yeah.
no, he's not holding a tail at all, actually. What I can't understand is why this thing won't, there we go. Did that advance?
Yes, it did.
Yeah.
Now we see the
Yeah, in advance.
Yeah,
feathers.
yeah, Will Hubin took these pictures and he was apparently on motor drive.
Good
It's
grief.
fun
Nice.
watching Wes's position. I got just a ticket down elevator on it. You see the tail wheels off the ground,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I see that. Yeah.
and Wes has already passed. His hands are coming back down. Whoops,
Ooh, look at that pretty plane.
that's a different airplane.
That is pretty.
It's pretty though. Duh.
But
Whoa, look at that.
Hey, look at that.
Hey, I
It
hadn't
backed
seen one
right
come
up into his
backwards before.
How do
hand.
you do
Well,
that?
that's how he retrieves it too. But anyhow,
That reverse prop on it, isn't it?
that's right. That's what happens with the reverse prop if you have it backwards. So
So any info on that plane, Dennis? That is pretty.
mm,
Dennis, I always loved your color selections.
oh
Was that your plane, Dennis?
yeah,
That's yours?
yeah.
That is beautiful. What is it?
It is I called it Ricky Ticky Tabby. It was based on a Cobra. There it is.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's sharp.
And I modified the heck out of the wing, chopped the area down, made it longer and skinnier and stuff like that. It's actually about a 6-to-1 aspect ratio. Let's see. Just a bunch of pictures there. Oh, well. Don't know what all I got there. I got some more pictures of that somewhere, but if you want, I can dig them up.
Let's see 'em.
My trouble is here. The airplane flies very well. It's a very good windy, windy weather airplane.
nice.
And which kind of surprised me. It's
Thin
Yeah,
airfoil,
I-
I assume.
Great.
all right.
It's great
Here we-
line. Point. Just-
All right. Did that show up? The framework picture?
Not yet.
Not yet.
I'm still seeing the memorial at that Brodax
Okay.
memorial site.
All right. I might have to reopen it or something like that. Oh, well, no big deal. All right,
Is
I
it-
guess I don't
it-
have anything else to add to that then, but, or, let's see, why can't I do that? I can't maximize that.
Can you go to your shows, your actual screen and go, and you should have an alternate. You should be able to move that over and pick the other one. Click off
Mhm.
on the one and click on the other perhaps. Your Ricky Ticky,
Ricky
The
Tikki
high-
Tavi, yeah, that was the mongoose who destroyed the cobras, all right? So
right.
Yeah.
just like I just took the cobra and destroyed it, all right, so. But the only
That's cool.
part of it that I salvaged was the fin. All
well,
right.
I know for a long time you've been an advocate of high aspect ratios. And I understand because they turn well, and they carry the weight well and all of that. But I've never found them to be good wind airplanes. That
Mhm.
twin flight street.
Oh,
maximum.
gosh.
Oh, there we
look at
are,
that thing.
Dennis. We got it.
All right.
That's
Yeah,
nice.
you got it.
That's beautiful.
Kind of an
Yeah,
I-beam.
Wow, look at the ribs.
Isn't that something?
Look at that fuselage. Look at that
The
rear
gutted
fuselage.
fuselage.
Here.
That's beautiful, Dennis.
So is that an I-beam with the geodetic rib
Yeah.
set?
Yeah.
Wow. Boy, high tech.
You need to draw a plan to that, Dennis.
I started one. I don't know if anybody was really interested. It's too little.
I'd like to have one. That's neat. I'd like to build
Mhm.
that.
How many airplanes can you build, Phil? You're going to outdo all of us.
I love to build.
That's
Since I'm
cool.
retired, that's all I do.
Very pretty.
Oh, wait a
That's
minute. Back
gorgeous.
up one shot. Look at the lead outs. Look at the lead outs. Back up one shot, Dennis.
Oh, that's it. You notice that.
Uh-huh. I told you I was a technician for 30 years. I do notice the little stuff.
Oh yeah, very nice. Yeah, I've seen that on a Tempest where the lead
Yeah.
outs are stacked.
On
Yeah.
top of each other.
That's
I always
sharp,
wanted,
Dennis.
I always wanted to try over under lead outs and then I just went ahead and did it. And I really liked it. I really can't look you in the eye and tell you why it's better or anything like that, but I just really liked that the airplane seemed to be extremely well controlled under yaw and stuff like that. There was no difference from an up line to down line or anything like that.
I
Yeah.
like the thin
But you have to get
fuselage.
the position right. You have to get the rake right. You really can't fix the rake if you missed it.
That's exactly right. And it's possible to make them adjustable, but it's about 4 times as hard, And then
Right.
with an
Yeah.
I-beam, the trouble with an I-beam, of course, is that
In the
there's
way.
no place to put them. All right. Let me go back to
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, that's a serious.
I mean, basically that I-beam is a big old barrier to where the lead outs can go. All right.
Yeah.
So they end up being pretty much one position anyway, and it's just on the I-beam, which is actually pretty close to the CG, probably just behind the CG a little bit. So yeah,
My
it
word.
was a crapshoot. It worked. But someone mentioned the Tempest and the Thunderbird 2 from Vico was made with
Yeah.
over under
Yeah.
lead outs.
And the
Yeah.
Electra had
Yeah.
you take a look, a lot of the European airplanes, I think were all heavily influenced by Palmer. And there's a lot of European designs have over under lead outs. I believe the Supermaster, the Gabri airplane, Joseph Gabri airplane, that was a world champ twice, I think, from the early 60s. That had I'm actually working on I got the plans for a Finnish design, a Trump special. That's Trump with an F on it. All right, Trump special.
Right.
It's it looks like a cross between a Nobler and a Smoothie, with over under lead outs. All right, so but that's on one of the to do list too. But
First one I ever saw with over under lead outs was an Electra, and that thing that's just a good looking airplane. It flew very well.
yeah, Electra and a Tempest. What RSM has kits on both of them. I've always liked them both.
Yeah, I do
They're
too.
basically the same airplane. Just a fuselage is different and a little bit on the elevator.
I think the Electra is basically a modified Tempest.
Yeah, it's actually the other way around. The other way around.
Electra first,
Yeah.
and then the Tempest.
Yeah, but yeah, Bart flew with Dick Williams, and John, weren't you saying that the wings were interchangeable on those two?
Just about. There's a little bit of difference on the end of the flaps and the tip and on the elevator.
Okay.
That's all.
And the Tempest, of course, that was a trike gear airplane, so the landing gear blocks are a little different. But
yeah, the Tempest the Electra that I built was a sweetheart of an airplane. I built it and I took it to VSC, and I was still I had to go. I went to the hobby shop in Tucson to get the monocoat, the self-sticking monocoat, to make the numbers and all that. I'm still working on the plane.
Talk about last minute.
I had 3 flights on it before I had my first official. I didn't have to do diddly. It trimmed out, when I bench trimmed it, that was all the trimming. I never touched the trim after that. Didn't move the lead outs, even though I did have the lead out set up. Bart showed me how to make them adjustable. I had about a 1/2 inch of adjustment, and never moved that. The old saying says that if you make it movable, you'll never move it. Well, that was how it went out. And that airplane would land, and it'd land on the main. It would just come down and stick on the mains and roll out with the tail up until you got lost enough airspeed. It was a sweetheart of an airplane. Weighed about 42 ounces. It
drawn
was a
600.
sweetheart.
Drawn 600 squares too, right?
Yeah.
At 43 ounces, that's a light airplane. So
it was light. When I crashed it, I just had balsa dust.
Yeah, I bet.
Hey, Al, thanks for coming in. I appreciate it.
Good to see you, Al.
Hi, Al.
Yeah.
Hi, Al. And sorry to hear about your brother, Dennis. That's a shame. And it was a beautiful.
Thank you, Al. It's a hell of a shock to us.
Yeah, I can't imagine.
It would be.
And that was a nice post that you wrote about him. That was really nice.
Yeah. It's so funny. He asked me to find some rules for Fox 35 speed. All right. So
look at that.
He had to be a great guy if he loved the Fox 35.
yeah, I mean, that's something he could have sunk his teeth into it. He would have had some fun with that. So
it's surprising that even Henry Nelson's doing it. Henry Nelson won the Nats with his Fox 35 speed.
That is funny. No, Dave had made, I can't remember, our buddy Jeff, who joins us. I can't think of his name, his last name.
Riley? Jeff Riley.
Yeah.
Jeff Riley.
he got a hold of Dave and talked Dave into making him 3D printing some blocks for the Fox 35 bypass. All right.
Wow.
So he didn't have to
Oh.
carve anymore. Dave, and so Dave had to set up a model so he knew what the thing was supposed to be shaped like and everything like that. And he got it all made. And he's got the engine there. Of course, Dave, he's just having so much fun with the printer. He just took and he modeled the whole engine and he 3D printed a Fox 35 case, back plate, head.
That's
He was
awesome.
working on the, on the cylinder and the crankshaft. He was going to have a all 3D printed Fox 30. He even printed it in gold, like
Oh my
the old,
goodness.
1965 was it, or 63,
Wow.
Yeah.
whatever it was. Yeah.
50th anniversary, I
That's
think.
cool.
It was.
Yeah,
Whatever.
yeah, the 25th anniversary, I think it was. The gold Fox is when he printed it in gold, and he got thinking. He says, "What the heck?" He says, "Plastic back 3D. What's wrong with a plastic back plate? I can print a stuffer back plate for this thing.
It's some of
And,
the SMG guys are doing that.
Wow.
The
And
combat
it's-
guys are doing that.
So anyhow, Jeff, it's kind of funny. Jeff ended up getting the last piece of work, if you will, that Dave did. Although Dave did make me a mount. My last message from him Saturday afternoon is he had made a mount for me, a printed a mount for me, and then it was in the mail. It's supposed to be here any day. So kind of ironic. I'm going to use that mount on an airplane that my dad started. So this is now a double memorial airplane. So
Yeah,
Well,
that's pretty neat.
It's always tough when you lose a loved one.
Well, we always said you had a stunt family.
Mhm.
yeah, Dave just like he's just just really inquisitive, and he liked doing things. So
Yeah. Yeah, the
He
two
and your
times I
dad
talked to him, he's just a neat guy.
yeah.
He-
Well, he liked working on engines as a kid. And he ended up at the Ford Experimental Engine Lab, or
Yeah.
Advanced
Wow.
Engine Lab, I guess it's called.
Oh, yeah.
So I mean, talk about perfect fits. So
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. I've got a Vico 60 that he reworked. And it runs sweet. It's heavy as heck, but it runs sweet.
mhm.
Y'all talking about the Fox 35? It's one of my dad's old engines here. I'm trying to get it restored. The Fox Rocket.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that any good?
That's a combat.
Is it?
Yeah.
So it's a 35 basically, right?
Oh, it's a
It's
35, but
a
it's a
hot
hot
rod engine.
35. It's a hot engine.
Yeah.
It's seized up right now. I'm trying to, but the head bolts are all stripped out on it. And I'm having a hard time getting them out.
They can be a challenge.
Take the glow plug out and put some air tool oil in it, let it sit, soak it up real good, and then put a prop on it and then heat it up with a heat gun.
I've heated it up.
Yeah, don't do it dry now. You'll break the rod, but
Yeah.
get some air tool or penetrating oil in there, and then let it sit for a couple days, and then okay, you put in the
That'll
glow
work.
plug.
Huh?
Take
No, I
the
hadn't
glow
pulled the
plug
plug
out.
yet. My,
Take the
my,
plug out and
my-
fill it up on the top.
well, I can't fill it up. The piston's down.
Oh, well. Well, then pour it. Then you can get it on the top of the piston. Then take the back plate off, put it in there,
Mhm.
and then you heat it up with a heat gun and work it a little bit, and you'll get it. I had a Vico 19 that actually took me like 4 months to trying it, without going crazy with it, because I know I would break it. And then finally it just started to move, and
Mine just started.
Gentle.
there you go. You
It's
gotta put some
gentle.
heat on it.
Oh, it's hot. I can't hardly hold it.
Oh, you already heated it up?
Yeah.
There you
Oh,
go.
there you go.
It's
Yeah.
moving.
Magic.
Yeah, right on TV.
Well, that's
Yeah.
Right on TV. What's that? I never heard of TV.
As seen on TV.
Yeah, as seen on
This shows
TV,
my
that's
age.
right.
I had to put a,
Showing my age.
I had to put a new piston and liner in my Mark 7
Oh,
There you
wow. Look
go.
at that motor.
as I flew it at this year's Nats in my first match. And, I got the win, but I hit the ground and it tore up my piston and liner. So I had to put a new one in it. So it's,
I've never seen a needle valve sit back like that. Is that something you machined in like that or what?
yeah, no, that's stock. That's how they
Oh, that's
came.
neat. I've never seen that before.
That's called a coffin back or something like that.
Yeah,
Isn't
But
that
Very
cool?
nice.
this has its, they modified this one on the Mark 7. It's flat on the back. It's not recessed to give more room, a bigger passageway to get the fuel up to
More
the.
volume.
Yeah.
And this is an AAC engine.
Wow.
Really?
It
How much
has
does that
a-
motor weigh?
What's that?
How much does that weigh?
I don't know, I guess, just under 8 ounces.
Wow, it should be light.
Yeah. Yeah, about 8 ounces, 8.5, something like that.
Very nice.
But it's very, very powerful. It's like, as powerful as a Nelson 36.
Wow.
But that's one of my goals was, I knew I might only those guys are so good. I might only last, I might not even get through the first match. So I wanted to put my Mark 7 up against the Nelson in competition. And,
Right.
And with luck, I beat him 2 cuts to 1. And,
Nice.
and I went into this second match and had to use a different plane. And you use it in fast combat, it's a plane and match. It's just like, midair or line tangle and both guys crash. It's over in under 40 seconds.
Wow.
But when they say combat, 40 seconds, and that's
Right.
Yeah, it's a shame that it's gotten that way, but that's the way combat is.
yeah.
That's what thing always gets me is they take off. They got these beautiful new airplanes. Both of them are screaming on the ground, and they let go of them, and that's the end of that match.
Yeah. Oh yeah, but the adrenaline rush is really, really, intense.
Oh yeah.
That's
really-
it. I know when I watch a combat match, I have to remind myself to keep breathing.
Yeah. Right.
Honest to God, you can really get them really winding up and everything like that. It's just holding your breath the whole time. It's like, okay, wait a minute. Okay. Let's go for
Yeah.
another minute or so. But yeah, that's about the most exciting thing you can do with a model airplane, I think.
Yeah.
Hey, Mike Lonke, thanks for coming in.
Hey, Mike, you're gonna have a bunch of New Jersey people down in Tennessee.
For what?
My kids are heading down to Nashville.
Oh boy.
My daughter's birthday. She's heading down to Nashville next weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, coming home Monday.
Well, give them my phone number, Alan. If they need bail money, I'll come get them.
And there's a question on the chat box for Mark Lumen with your drawings behind you, Mark. John Lydell, he asks, did you draw those?
No, we had a caricature guy draw them. Yeah.
Very nice. I made you big so we can see some of them. So these are
Yeah.
family members?
They're all just different polo players just throughout the world. Yeah.
Polo players.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow, how big is that wall? Good grief.
It's pretty big.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Good gracious. Oh my
Wow,
goodness.
look at that.
Hey, I want a wall like that with stunt pliers.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start replacing them with airplanes. So
I don't think my wife will let me put them up.
Wow.
With all
I don't know if there's
the
that
trophies.
left.
That's pretty sharp.
Throw out all the trophies and I'll put stunt pliers on my wall. People will wonder, what the hell are you doing?
Well,
You're
thanks for
looking
showing,
for
Mark.
Shoreline airplane.
Well, I think I told you my mistake, and when Philip was talking about blowing papers all over his table.
Oh,
Oh,
don't tell me you did it too.
yeah.
Well, I did it with the pictures. I had the vector on the pool table, and I was just gonna hook it up to make sure I had the prop on right, or had it connected right. Yeah. And what wasn't thinking, well, when it's instead of just letting it spool a little bit, I mean, of course not, right? We're a guy, you got to let it spool up and hear it, right?
Yeah.
Of course.
It did. It took about 4 photos, about 4 foot high off the wall. But anyway,
Wow. Are these glass that broke too? Was it any glass?
no, they. I don't even know. They don't have any kind of glass in front of them. It's just a frame.
All right.
With the
That's
drawing
pretty
and stuff.
neat.
Yeah.
Good.
That's pretty neat. I like that. At least I'm not the only one who's crazy enough to do it.
Yeah.
In good company.
So John Lytle, you got your answer there, John. He didn't draw them.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Thanks for coming in, John Lytle. Appreciate. I haven't seen you in a while. Appreciate you coming in, and that's great.
You're about 15
What's
minutes. I'll take you out, buddy.
Mike, what are you doing?
I muted you, Mike. You got to turn your mic back on.
He disappeared.
No, he's still there.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, sorry. I was probably making too much noise there, Charles.
Yeah.
What am I doing? I'm boxing up kits, man.
Oh yeah, I saw a
Oh,
couple
my
of those.
goodness. Did
I'm
you
making.
score?
No, well, yeah, I did, but no, I'm boxing up kits. I listed 8 kits on our Facebook site yesterday. I sold 7, and I've made $900 so far.
Oh, very nice.
Which kit do you have left?
I have the mini stunt rocket left. The little half A is left. But I sold 2 Walter Umland trophy trainer laser cut kits.
Wow.
Ooh.
I would have bought that.
I sold
one
an
of those.
Allen Brickhouse 746P profile Buccaneer
Yeah, that's a good one.
cut by Mike Griffin. I sold a Continental by Wind Dancer Models, which is basically the RSM Continental, which is like a $260 kit right now. That one went. Flight Streak and this Ringmaster. And what else?
Yeah, I was going to call you about that Ringmaster, but I just didn't have the money.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. This is just the Estes Junior Ringmaster. I bought this and a Brodak Flight Streak off a guy on Facebook Marketplace, not even a control line guy, just some guy random. Both kits for $50 shipped.
Oh,
That's a good deal. That was a steal.
Well, yeah, a Brodak still in the shrink wrap. So I paid $25 a kit. I got $75 for this one. This is going out tomorrow. I got $100 for the Flight Streak. It's already gone.
Yeah, the Flight Streak was what I was going to call you about, but
No, it's already gone. It got shipped today. The Continental got shipped today. Both trophy trainers got shipped today. And then Mike Stinson bought the Brickhouse Buccaneer. So I'll just give that to him when I see him. I was looking on the shelf. Sam and we're moving into piped engines now. I don't need all this other stuff. I don't need these profiles, and I don't need, even though the Continental, I really wanted to build it because I had an Aero Tiger 36 for it, and it's a great classic airplane.
That'd be nice.
It's not where I'm at though. I don't care about flying classic anywhere. You know what I mean? I don't. I'm trying to streamline the operation a little bit, and we got plenty of other profiles. We fly profile and PA, and in PA we're going to be flying pipe stuff, and I got plenty of profile stuff. I just didn't need all these kits, and I bought this stuff 10, 12, 15 years ago, And stuff that I paid $100 for, I'm selling for $175 right now, or I got $220 for the Continental, actually, you know.
That's
So
awesome.
just trying to thin out the herd a little bit, make some cash. Sammy needs a big passel of F2D airplanes this year. So we're trading kits for combat planes for Sam. That's what we're doing.
Keep
You know,
going.
and I'm not gonna miss him. I'm not gonna miss him.
No.
So Sam's gonna be flying the F2D circuit?
Yeah, we'll probably go to Michigan in May. He'll fly F2 there. He'll fly F2 fast at the Nats. He probably won't fly regular F2D at the Nats.
In just a minute.
You know, the 2 airplane deal on Saturday, Sunday, but he's going to fly F2 fast because this will be our break-in year here, 2022. And then we're going to try to go to Lubbock for F2 fast in September. But next year, 2023, will really be the year that he needs to up his game and start hitting some F2 stuff for the team trials.
Gonna fly AMA fast or F2 fast?
F2D fast, which is, yeah, that's not an FAI event. It's an AMA event. You know, you know what I'm talking about. It's basically F2D, but with 1 airplane instead of 2, and not all the.
You're allowed to mod the engine.
Yeah, basically it's run what you brung in F2 fast. Yeah. Yeah, you can.
Lubbock, Texas, though? Wow.
You don't have to have a restricted Venturi or a or you know, that little muffler on there. You know, you can.
You're correct. And that was something the Americans did because FAI changed the rules all the time. And
Right.
everybody had all this equipment they couldn't use. So the Americans made another event and called it out F2D Outlaw Fast, basically. You know.
That's cool.
Yeah,
All right.
but it's actually faster than regular F2D, right? It's
Of course. Yeah. I mean, if you.
it's not all the FAI rules with 2 airplanes. It's one airplane with kills. It's like half A, you know, it's like flying half A, high performance
I was
half A.
just gonna say that. Yeah.
So that's kind of how we're going to break him into F2D is by letting him fly F2 fast, and then we'll go from there. But I feel kind of, you know, Ronnie, the Detroit guys, they gave us 8 airplanes. We got 8 motors, but we don't want to tear all that stuff up because that was kind of donated for him to do a team trial thing when it finally happens.
Right.
So
Be back in a few minutes.
I'm going to order 10 airplanes from Yarrow or, you know, Roman.
20.
20, yeah, from Uvenco.
20
And-
shipping.
Right. So $500 or $1,000 worth of either 10 or 20. Al, you know what it takes.
Yeah.
And then we won't be tearing up the stuff that was given to him by Ronnie and the guys. So that's kind of the plan. That's the plan.
Hey, Mike, any updates on your Axioma? Anything?
Oh yeah.
Anything mod to it or anything?
Still sitting there. Still sitting there.
It looks
I did. Well, I am.
Drop setup looks good.
I am. I'm storage charging all the batteries right now. I did finally get around to doing that, and I put, you know, we got all this RC stuff now, electric. There are like 27 batteries for RC airplanes right now.
How do you deal with it all? Holy
Well,
cow.
I put them all in storage and it's fine. I got the
Wow.
4-port Thunder Tiger. But I will tell you this, what I did tonight with these, I put these little handles on the connectors on these. I think I showed these late last week, but see the little black things there?
Yeah.
They're little glue-on handles. You know, they're a 2-piece clamshell.
Yeah.
You get them from Hobby King, and you can get them for any connector, the XT60s or the what's the other one, man? The
Deans?
yeah, the Deans. They make them for everything, right? And it's
And
here.
where do you get those at again?
I bought them from Hobby King.
Okay, thank you.
Get them in a big pack, and they're male and female. So you got one for the male side and one for the female side. Of course, you know, on the airplane side, you only need one. You need a bunch for the battery side. But what happens is it just gives you a nice big grip. So then you got one in the airplane too. And it's just a bigger, fatter grip to grab onto.
I like that.
Here, let me dig one out so you can see exactly, because that one's already installed. Let me get one out here. And it just takes just a drop of CA is all it takes. It's two pieces, right? It's two pieces. It's a clamshell, and you put them together, boop, and a little drop of CA right around the connector, and it just gives you something beefier to grab onto. Because especially, it might not make a big difference on a profile airplane because you got a lot of room to work, but
Right.
you know, inside a full fuse airplane, you're working with a pretty tight area, and these connectors they're kind of tiny, and they don't have anything really to. This, like, I think what I said to Howard and them, if you could see, they're ribbed for your pleasure. See that?
Yeah.
See, they're ribbed. They're ribbed on both sides, and they're a little fatter. So it just gives you something for your fingers to grab onto.
Yeah, very good.
So
Love
what was that?
Well, that is, you know, I just think an example of I say sometimes the after party is better than the live stream. And there's stuff that's happens in the after party. I'm going to be ending this live stream shortly, but it's no joke. I just sometimes I'm tired, but the after party has its own life. And so you need to come in and register at stunthangar.forum so you can get to the link to go into the after party. And the after party has its life of its own. So please consider joining us, coming on in, and then stay tuned to the after party. Now, those of you who are watching this live stream, the after party is not streamed. So when we say the after party, there's no way you can participate in it or see it or anything, because this part is streamed. The after party isn't streamed. So consider joining us so you can come on in and partake of the after party. So anyways, I'm going to end the live stream. It's just about straight up 9 o'clock, almost there. We've had a really good show, by the way, and thank you, John Dukalek. I appreciate that $30 super chat. And we had as many as I think the height of our show, we actually had gotten up to looks like somewhere around 27 viewers. And of course, the show gets replayed and people come in and watch the replay. But please come back Friday. Hopefully do something in your show, in your shop, or if you get a chance to fly, or if you're doing something, come back and do a show and tell. And tell your friends about it so they can come on in and maybe they might have something they want to share or show. So I'm going to end the live stream now, and we were back Friday. So long.